everyone. I'm Rachel Jenkins, the Mental Health and Wellbeing Manager at Refugee Women Connect. Thank you for joining us as we celebrate our International Stress Awareness Week. The theme this year is emotional management, and one of the reasons it was chosen is just looking at how mental health has been impacted by the last few years of the pandemic. So many of us were isolated in various ways. Many of us lost people. Many of us lost opportunities. Life changed significantly for everyone. And obviously this is going to have an impact on everyone's mental health. So the reason emotional management is so important is that all of us are going to experience difficult times throughout our lives. And it's important to be able to manage your emotions and to learn how to build coping strategies and use those strategies at times that you are feeling heightened emotions, so that you're able to kind of manage your mental health, be aware of the things that maybe trigger your mental health or trigger the traumas that you may have experienced, to kind of keep us healthy and aware of ourselves. And the tool that I've chosen to kind of walk us through today is the feeling wheel. This was developed by Dr. Gloria Wilcox, and I absolutely love this feeling wheel. I have anxiety myself, and this is something that I use a lot. When I'm anxious, I tend to have a lot of catastrophic thinking, and I'll think in very, general but very scared terms. So I'll think, I'm so sad, this situation's never going to end, or something like that. But the emotion that I'm aware of is a very general emotion. For example, here on this wheel, you can see sad. But when I say that I'm sad, that's not very specific. And so it might not be very helpful to me in terms of how to manage my emotion, because sad is such a general term. Two people can be sad, and they can be for very, very, very different reasons. And one of the reasons for that, not just because of different experiences, is because there's emotions behind general emotions. So if we break down sad, we might have feelings of guilt, shame, depression, loneliness, boredom, sleepy. So it's important to kind of break down how you're feeling. So if I'm sad and I'm really anxious, and I can use this tool to make myself take a moment. I can, I look at this wheel often in these moments, and I think, okay, what are you actually feeling right now? And, it might be that I feel lonely. Certainly during the pandemic, many of us felt that way, but a lot of us feel that way in general. And it doesn't take a pandemic to feel lonely. So if I recognize that actually behind the sadness, I'm feeling lonely, then I can think, oh, does that connect to feeling inadequate? Is that how I'm feeling? Maybe I'm feeling inadequate because I don't have a lot of friends around me, and that makes me feel lonely, and I worry that I'm not capable of making friends in a new place, or whatever the case may be. And so the reason that this is important is if I can get a specific emotion, I can think of ways to manage that emotion. So if I'm thinking that I'm inadequate because I don't have, for example, any new friends in a new place, and that's making me feel lonely, which is making me feel sad, what can I do to help myself feel more adequate? Can I join a local group to meet people? Can I go for a walk to help distract myself? Can I balance that thought and use kind of like a CBT tool to say, well, actually, I do have a lot of friends around the world. I just don't necessarily have friends in this new place. And, maybe kind of balancing that thought puts into perspective that I'm not inadequate. I have a lot of friends. They're just not necessarily physically present. And maybe that helps me feel less lonely, which then makes me feel less sad. Obviously, this would be very specific to whatever personal, situation and emotions you're experiencing. But I hope that was a clear example. And I hope that you like this tool. What I will say about all mental health tools is not every tool works for every person. So if this feeling wheel resonated with you, please leave us a comment or send us a message. We'd love to hear if you enjoyed it or if you found it helpful for managing your own emotions. And if you didn't love it, if it didn't resonate with you, that's also okay. There's so many different coping strategies out there and tools that we can use to manage our emotions. And we're all very different with different needs and experiences, and this doesn't have to be the thing that you use if it's not helpful. But this is one of my absolute favorites, so hopefully it resonated for someone out there. And thank you again for taking the time to listen, and I hope everyone has a lovely week, and we thank you so much for your support. Bye.